was a piece of shit. When I got my 2500 with the Cummins, it always sounded like a jet engine spinning up when I started it. So I know what you mean. And the worst thing in the world, I think, would be a bird strike.
Yeah, or anything. Yeah, well, I had a bird strike once. I was flying out of Niagara Falls, and I was basically, I just got my my license. Well, I shouldn't say that. No, the bird strike happened. I had about 10 hours of flight, and I soloed for the first time after 10 hours, right? So I'm flying. All of a sudden, this bird hits my wing. It pushed the wing in, the leading edge of the left wing, pushed it in at least a foot.
Wow.
And I called the tower, and I said, and the tower goes, well, you're still in the air, so that's a good thing. He goes, so come in, land, don't come in at your normal land speed. Go about 20 miles an hour, 20 knots more, and just to make sure, because we didn't know what it was going to do on landing.
Right.
Okay.
And but that was scary.
Yeah, for real.
Do you like being scared?
Controlled scared.
Well, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, controlled scared. I don't like to be feared for my life or anything like that. But
okay.
But like
I
I jumped off the Stratosphere Tower twice because I just wanted, because I was tied in, but still, when you're jumping off an 800-foot building, it's still a little scary.
On a rubber band?
No, just on a tether. So they have a target to aim for, and nobody can hit it. And there was this German kid who.
That's what I mean. But it's on you're on a rubber band.
No, it doesn't. It's just a cable. So it's like
oh, you're sitting.
No, it's clipped to the front and back, and then you just go down. But it's not flexible. It doesn't stretch.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, when you hit the ground, you stay there. You don't bounce back up.
Can I tell a joke?
Okay.
That I learned this week.
Okay.
So you're talking about jumping from the top of a high tower.
Yeah.
So this joke originated by a comedian in Nazi Germany.
Okay.
So this joke was told in 1933.
Okay.
Where is Nazi Germany?
That is it's a historical era.
It's a cultural thing.
No, but he said it was in Nazi Germany, and I'm like, well, where's Nazi Germany?
Well, it was in Austria and Poland, and
yeah, right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get it. Okay,
so the comedian goes on stage and tells this joke at a nightclub. Hitler and Goering are at the top of a large building in Berlin giving a speech, okay? And Hitler is impressed at how people are like cheering him and everything.
Okay.
And Hitler looks over at Goering and he says, the people at this rally, they adore me. I would like to know, do you have any suggestions on how I can do something that'll make them happy? And Goering says, oh, yeah, you could jump.
Okay.
That comedian was hunted down and executed for telling that joke.
Yeah.
That shows how comedians are feared under fascism.
Well,
remind you of anybody now?
Well, yeah, and that the picture of the Joker in not the Joker or the Jester in red, who's sitting there, having been told something about advancing on the Russian front. The Jester, who's not laughing and not fooling around. All the other people are fooling around. He's the one that's thinking about it. Because I read an article, I just happened to see it, talking about the same thing about 3 comedians that were arrested in Nazi Germany for telling just telling jokes. Yeah. But these guys weren't executed. But I have one joke, and then we're going to start, because Paul will like this. So a guy is flying a small plane in the Pacific Northwest, so it's visual rules only. He doesn't even have any instruments. And as he's flying, all of a sudden, clouds roll in, and he gets completely lost. So as he's flying, but he's going about 150 knots, so it's not too loud, he sees a break in the clouds, and there's a building, and he yells to the person, "Where am I?" And the person yells back, "You're in an airplane." So then he immediately makes a turn 70 degrees to the right and makes a picture-perfect landing at his airport. And when they asked him what happened, he said, "Well, when I yelled to the person in the window, they gave me the answer that was completely correct and also completely inapplicable." So that means Microsoft so I knew exactly where I was.
What does Microsoft have to do with this?
The building was
Flight
Microsoft.
simulator.
They gave me an answer that was completely correct and completely useless. So I knew it was
Right.
Microsoft. Okay.
Funny.
I like that.
So we're ready to fire.
Okay, I'm going to start the show. Then you don't have to do anything, Mick.
Okay. Hello and good evening, and welcome back to the No Exit podcast experience, because we will inundate you with data, with information, with opinions, most of which suck, and all sorts of craziness that we could squeeze in an hour. So with me this day is Richard. We have the Prez. We got Mick on the keys, and Paul somewhere in the ether. And I'm Jason. So now that we've covered that, I'm going to read out the thesis of the show, because remember, I'm not stuck here with you. You're stuck here with me. Okay. So the no exit comes from Jean-Paul Sartre, and from the play No Exit. I'm going to give you French first and then English. Alors, c'est l'enfer. Je n'y aurais jamais cru. Tu te souviens de tout ce qu'on nous a raconté sur les chambres de torture, le feu et le soufre, le membre brûlant, des histoires de bonnes femmes. Pas besoin de te soigner chauves en rouge. L'enfer, c'est les autres. So this is hell. I'd never have believed it. You remember all we were told about the torture chambers, the fire and brimstone, the burning marl. Old wives' tales. There's no need for red hot pokers. Hell is other people. Okay, so now we're ready to rock and roll, and we went Swiss today because we had a whole list of things to do, and then since people are absent, it looks like Swiss cheese. But as they say in Switzerland, here all our cheese is Swiss.
I love
So-
Swiss cheese.
I provolone better, but I like Swiss.
Well, Swiss is actually Emmentaler. That's you can look that up if it sounds good. Okay, so
Emmentaler?
Paul, what do you put Swiss cheese on?
That's one of the things I wanted to ask you to do, because you use a lot of terminology that I'm not familiar with, and if you don't explain yourself, I really don't get what you're saying.
understandable.
Swiss cheese, not just anything really. I mean, I make Swiss cheese omelets. I make Swiss cheese on steak, Swiss cheese, grilled cheese. Whatever.
Now, Jason, you're a big steak eater. Would you ever put cheese on steak?
Never. If you have to hide your steak under,
Well, not like steak, like a steak sandwich, like a steak,
like a
steak
cheesesteak, yeah. Because
Yeah.
if you go to Philadelphia and you ask for a Philly cheesesteak, they know you're not from there. Just like in Buffalo, if you ask for
Right.
buffalo wings,
Right.
they just say in Philly, "Give me a cheesesteak," and here you say, "Give me 20 wings hot," and you
Right,
cut to
right.
the chase. And
Yeah.
but yeah, that Ruth's Chris will hide, what did Ruth's Chris put on top? But Highs in Honolulu will put all the onion straws on it. But the manager at Morton's in Honolulu says, we prefer for the meat to speak for itself. I said, carne ipsa loquitur. The meat speaks for itself. Okay,
So you're saying you're meat?
we're all meat.
Yes, I
But,
knew that you agreed with that.
But even a corpulent guy like you wouldn't be tasty to like a bear or a shark, because you're not corpulent enough. That's why
Right.
people don't taste good, because we're very lean, like antelope or like an elk.
Okay.
Lean.
Unless you're fat, then you're
No,
nice
you got.
and plump.
Even if you're really fat, not fat
No,
enough.
I know. Yeah. Right.
Okay, so our first topic, then we're going to cut right down the list. It's mine, the images grinder.
Well, because of the fact that I got to switch at the last moment,
Oh, you can't bring up the images.
I don't. Let me see if I can. All right. There's a possibility that I will. I can look in the trash.
Hey, you should have looked for it before the show started, mister. I'm just kidding, man. 'Cause-
Good.
So what happened? We had
Oh,
a
yeah,
shitload
yeah, I
of
got
people
the images.
last
Yeah.
week, and now there's two of us. What's going on?
There's
It's
four of us.
baffling, Paul. It's baffling that somebody could show so much enthusiasm during the week and then the day gets here and they don't show up because they got to be with friends.
Well, some people are like eczema.
I
But
can
she
understand
likes
it.
it. She likes.
I can understand I'm not considered a friend, so I'm fine with that. But you guys,
But
I don't know.
that's the whole point of no exit. We have to get on each other's nerves.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
But some people are like eczema or like breakfast cereal or bread because they're very flaky.
Now,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
thought you sent me 2 images,
I did.
but I believe I only have one.
Well, did it have two into one image, like both of them? The outages?
Maybe that's why I don't have it. Look.
Oh. Okay, well, I did send you two, but what you see here in this image is that's down in Arizona on the lower left. This is an outage report for Grindr. Now, if you're not familiar with Grindr, I know it's for gay men, but I don't know if that's exclusively or if they do bi guys or if they do transgender or if they do lesbians or what. But that is mainly for gay men, and that's where the vigil for Charlie Kirk was. Just like in Milwaukee, when they crashed Grindr, they also crashed Grindr at 9:30 and at 10:38 was the other image. So I don't know what time is that one. But that outage is because the servers were overwrought, and so what it is a whole bunch of friggin' hypocrites in the Republican Party because they've changed from being a party of principle to a cult of personality. And that's why it's for my looking at it and knowing the whole of the story, the grifter in chief, Dumb Donnie, is charismatic and dumb as shit, and he says the stupidest shit, and then the educated people have to roll over to make it fit his narrative. And this tells you right here that it's more than coincidence, because there's no such thing as coincidences. You get literally thousands of Republicans coming to this area that aren't from there, and then from that area crashes the app.
Wow.
I mean, connect the dots. It's easy to connect them. It's a very short journey. And because that's what the same thing happened in Milwaukee when the Republican National Convention was there. They crashed Grindr. Coincidence, a whole bunch of thousands of Republicans, and the app crashes.
Was it a crash or was it a shutdown?
No, it was overloaded from users. It wasn't a DDoS. It was just a.
So all these people from all across the country, they came to Arizona, right?
Yeah.
And while they were in town, the number of people attending these gay sites skyrocketed.
Yeah. Well, using the Grindr app, looking for a one-on-one connection or more. That I've never seen it or opened it, and if Jill was here, she would try a very weak attempt at gay bashing. Because just 'cause I know about it doesn't mean I'm gay. I've never even seen it, but I know it's one, that like I've never seen J-Date or Marry a Farmer either, but I know they exist.
So it's sort of like the biggest event of the year in America is the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Thousands of prostitutes go to wherever the Super Bowl is and get set up because they know they're going to have a ton of clients throughout the whole week.
Right.
So in this case, all these Republican conservatives headed down to Arizona, and the next thing you know, the gay sites get flooded with people requesting hookups.
I mean, it's like if there was the Alcoholics Anonymous convention and you bring a beer truck outside.
Right.
Awesome.
Awesome. So, the place, a drug-free and a gun-free zone, those are the best places to be because the only people that have guns or drugs are the people that shouldn't have them. Everybody else that follows the law doesn't have them.
Well, in Texas, the majority of citizens have guns, and because
Yeah,
of that,
you've said that, but I don't think you can really say that. You can't extrapolate it to the whole thing because there's
So what whole thing?
the whole state because most of Texas is flat land. The cities are spikes, but the rest of it is really empty.
Okay.
And okay, next topic is Paul, your creations, 2 images.
But does that invalidate the lower crime rate?
I don't know the statistics, so I'm not going to say something out of school.
Okay, good.
Okay, so here's one of Paul's images. Isn't that remarkable?
That flies right in my face.
Wow.
Absolutely. So I was just playing around. That's a macro 5 times 65 millimeter shot of the front of a common housefly.
How did you? Is that alive or is it dead?
This one died.
Okay, because I was thinking, I don't know how you could get a good image
Yeah,
that
how do you
quickly.
get it to stand still?
Yeah. Oh, you put it in the freezer.
And
Yeah,
they-
you can do that. I've done that. Yeah.
And then they get frozen?
Yeah, because there was on one of those
It
shows.
stuns them.
Yeah, that the other guys or something. It was about stock characters, and the one guy said that was a trick that he used. He'd put a fly in the freezer, and then he'd tie a thread to the leg, and then he could guide the fly around after it thawed out.
Yeah. If you freeze it for too long, it won't revive. But if it's a short period, it will. Just like there's frogs, so they have like antifreeze in
Yeah.
their system where you can freeze them solid like an ice cube, but then when they thaw out, they come back to life.
Yeah, that's why they bury themselves in the mud for the winter.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Well, photographers are supposed to represent reality, but if you take an example, photographers who specialize in photographing food,
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, none of that's edible.
when the milk gets poured
No,
on the
it's not.
cereal, it's a type of Elmer's glue
Okay.
because
Yeah,
it looks better than milk
okay.
in the
Yeah,
photo.
none of the food is real. It's always glycols and plastics and waxes and
Yeah, and
it's not
shaving
real.
cream instead of
'Cause it wouldn't
whipped
hold up.
cream.
It wouldn't hold up. Yeah, shaving cream. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, that food style. But then again, there's really something to say about plating food really well. Because my spouse could she can plate anything.
Right.
I put it together. I'm like, what the hell? It looks like I just threw them at the plate, and whatever landed there did. So
Oh, plating's a talent, especially in a restaurant setting. I mean, it has to look pleasing to the eye for it to be, to you want to eat it. Where if, like you said, if you throw it on a plate, it's like, whatever.
yeah, take it or leave
And
it.
Paul and his wife owned a restaurant,
Really?
the Three Bears.
Yeah.
What was the
Yeah.
thesis of it? What did you
It
do?
was called Three Bears. It was comfort food, so it was
Oh.
Three Bears Cafe, and it held about 35 people. So we made everything from scratch. There was no store bought anything.
Did you have chili?
We did.
Oh yeah.
I used to make during the fall months, I would make between 10 and 15 gallons of chili every week, and it would sell out.
Good.
And Paul learned a lot about how people are evolving. So Paul was in charge of hiring the waitresses.
Uh-huh.
And he once said to a waitress, okay, so you could take your break at, say, 5 o'clock. And he points to the wall. And it was a clock with this
An analog.
and the
Analog clock, yeah.
and the waitress said, well, that's not a clock. A clock has numbers that go like this.
Right. Yeah.
And Paul said, "Wait, you
She
never
couldn't read,
you never
yeah.
learned how to tell time with that?" No, I never did.
Well, that's reminiscent of.
I was just amazed that she couldn't read the time. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, and it's
I
not
go,
like it's a
"It's right
difficult
there."
skill to append. I mean,
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
but if it-
you
you
would think
explain
in
it to
school
her-
they would teach you that.
they
Yeah.
don't.
well,
Well,
I-
obviously.
So I've been hearing that they're not teaching kids how to write out in longhand anymore.
No, they're not. They're not.
and well, like in the movie Time After Time in 1979, where Malcolm McDowell played H.G. Wells and David Warner was Jack the Ripper. Always in movies where there's a horror villain, they're always very urbane and adapt to the modern times. But McDowell's Wells holds the telephone like this. He doesn't put it up to his head. He holds it out here and he's yelling into it. Whereas the one flaw was that John, Jack the Ripper, he's in the bank and he's exchanging the gold coins, but not for bullion value, just for face value. So, well, at that time, though, that was, so if it was worth more like 50 pounds or 100 pounds, even over the time, if it was a 100-pound coin, that would be worth more than the value of gold in it. So,
Sure.
in any case, what's the second image? Paul
Here's
has
the second image. He's getting into illustrating for T-shirts.
Huh.
Look at that.
Wow.
Pretty impressive, isn't it?
That's a very martial looking bull. I mean, bulls are already muscular as hell, and that one looks like it's on the juice. It's on the roids. And
Yeah.
does he have a mohawk?
Well, kinda. It's. I just put made a red patch of hair. So to go with the Buffalo Bills color scheme,
Huh. That's actually wow. That's more complex than I was expecting. I mean, I'm just wearing my Brooklyn to Queens subway shirt, the F. But actually, my train was the E, but E and F ran together, and so this is very simple. That's all that says. It's Brooklyn to Queens, and
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the A train?
yeah, it's 31 miles long. It's the longest train in the subway system because it goes to JFK Airport. So that's when they say take the A train. That's what they're talking about.
Well, there's a story behind that. Duke Ellington was the most famous popular composer in the world.
With Count Basie and Nat King Cole.
It was in, I believe, like starting in the 40s. And somebody said to Duke Ellington, there is in New York City a young teenager who is brilliant when it comes to writing songs. And so many people said that to Duke Ellington. He said, I'll meet the guy, all right? Here, give him my address, all right? And so he gets a knock on his door, and it opens the door, and hi, I'm Billy Strahan, and I was told that, you wanted to meet me. And Duke says, yeah, come on in. And Billy said, would you like me to sit down at the piano and play you some of my songs? And Duke Ellington said, well, I got to make sure you didn't steal these songs. So how about you write a fresh song for me right now?
Okay.
And Billy Strayhorn says, about what? He said, well, how'd you get here? He said, I took the A train.
Okay.
So I'd like you to write a song called Take the A Train for me. I'll go get a cup of coffee in the other room. So when Duke Ellington came back and Billy played the song, Take the A Train,
Yeah.
Duke was so impressed. Number one, he made him his co-composer for the rest of his life.
Oh, cool.
And number two, he made Take the A Train as his theme song.
Nice. That's awesome.
Hey, Richard,
That's
I sent
talent.
you. So I made a T-shirt or a sweatshirt for myself,
Yeah.
and I seen how. So I sent you the one that I made. It's in Messenger on Facebook, so you
Oh,
can
sure.
see it.
I'll look it up.
I tried to put it on here, but it doesn't fit the screen. So.
No, I can do it easy, Paul.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to find it.
So hopefully I should have it next week.
And
put it
I
on a
did
black
wanna-
cover.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to put it up now.
I did want to
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
Paul
put
a
it-
few
yeah, do
questions
it.
at some point. So when we get
Is that
to
the Let's
let
Go
me know.
Buffalo one? Paul?
No.
Different?
I just sent it to you.
Yeah, you sent me
Yeah,
one.
Let's Go Buffalo. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
Let's
okay.
Go Buffalo. Yeah.
Okay, so what we do is this, and then we open it up in a new tab, and then we hit this.
There you go.
Let's see. The S needs to be over a little bit closer to the apostrophe. The kerning is a little bit off. And also the F's have to be a little
yes.
bit closer together. But otherwise, stylistically, it looks really, really, really good.
Now, Prez, you're a expert on the divine and the demonic. Does that buffalo look a bit demonic to you?
I don't think that's the intention, but I think
It's
that
not, but
You know who that looks like? It looks like Wolverine, especially with the little plume of smoke, like he has a stogie in his mouth. That looks like, I thought of Wolverine.
Is Wolverine
well,
evil?
No.
It's a buffalo. Now, so when I made the mistake of making the other, it shouldn't have been a bull, which a bull and a buffalo, two different things. So, like the one I'm showing you right now, that on my background, I made that for Squish to Fish when they were playing Miami.
I can't
And
see your
so-
background right now. So
Oh well,
did you just change it?
that's right there. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, we
Well-
can't see it because it hasn't been. It's not showing.
But I
up.
remember it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it the one with the moon in the city?
No, this is.
Oh, you mean the one you just sent me, Paul?
No, the last one from Squish the Fish.
the one.
No,
the one.
the
If you
one-
look at my, if you
you
look
look
at
at
my
him.
background,
Yeah.
if you're looking at me,
Yeah.
that background,
He's on,
yeah.
he's on
you
the.
can't.
There you go.
You can't see the fish, but it was called Squish the Fish.
I see.
And
Okay.
So,
Yeah, it's a marine cetacean.
Yeah. So anyhow, it should have been a buffalo and not a bull. So I made that mistake when I made it. So that's why I corrected the T-shirt to look more like a bull. But I have a bunch of other ones. I probably have like 25 different ones I tried, and I figured I'll go with Let's Go Buffalo, and I put it on a shirt. So I'm waiting for the shirt to come in. We'll see how it come out.
Indeed. Because American Buffalo by David Mamet, the American Buffalo that they're talking about is a nickel. That, a valuable nickel.
Yeah. I've got buffalo nickels. Yeah.
Well, you know.
That's the one I was young, but my mom threw out my Dapper Dan that had my coin collection in it, so I lost it.
Well, I lost mine too, so let's revel in our misfortune together.
Cool. Mourn with those who mourn and rejoice with those who rejoice.
Okay, well, so now we have a whole big block of shit here that's not there. So we get to the Prez. You're number 12. You're not number 13. But you'll always be number 2 to me, Prez. Love your enemies. What are we talking about?
I mean,
That's your topic.
yes, I want us all to talk about what it means to love your enemies and if there's any value to that.
I think there is. Now, let me give you an example. World War II. If you were captured live by the enemy, there was like a gentleman's agreement. We'll put you in a prison camp until the end of the war, so you can't go back and fight against us.
Right.
But we'll treat you like a human.
In return, the other side has to do the same thing. Okay. Now, the question was, if we capture Nazis, where do we build a prison camp? Now, France, you can't do it because they were occupied.
Okay.
So, plus the south of France turned Nazi.
Right.
All right. England said, hey, we got all these American air bases here. We're already overflooded with things to do. And so the United States said, all right, you can send them back to the United States. So what the United States did then is they set up these prisoner of war camps. Now, they didn't set them up like near New York City or Chicago or L.A. They set them up in the country.
Okay.
Okay? So you had them like in Wisconsin, Oklahoma, things like that.
Utah.
Well, something unusual happened. So all these prisoners...
You're supposed to silence your phone before the show.
Sorry about that.
You're fired.
That's one demerit.
Okay.
Okay, so they're in these prisoner of war camps, and then the United States government said, well, we're not going to be doing this for free, all right? So we're going to put these prisoners to work.
Okay.
Well, there are no factories where they built the camps. So they went to all the farmers, and they said, would you supervise the prisoners of war on your farm? And you don't really have to worry about them running away because where
are they going to go?
They can't get back to Germany, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the farmer said, sure, we'll do it. So you had, and the United States was so generous that they said to the Germans, if you go work on these farms, we're going to pay the German prisoners exactly what a farmhand would earn in the country. And then they say to the farmers, the United States said, and we're going to pay you exactly what you'd be paying. So in other words, the farmers get a cut and the prisoners get a cut.
Okay.
These people, these prisoners who went to work on these farms, they loved it.
Yeah, because they're living better here.
That's
than they did in
exactly
Germany.
right. And everything they were taught by the Nazis about America, they're discovering this is wrong. You know?
Right, yeah.
They were taught that Germans were discriminated against in the United States. They didn't find any of that. In fact, they were eating meals with the prisoner's family.
Yep.
See?
Good.
The local churches were saying, hey, send the prisoners over to us on Sundays.
Okay.
And they were. So anyway, when the war ended and they were sent back to Germany, a lot of them said to their family and friends, I'm seriously thinking about moving back to the U.S.
Yeah.
So what did they do? They contacted the farmers that they worked on and said, would you sponsor me if I came back? Yeah. Sure, we will.
Oh,
In
cool.
fact, we'll give you a job when you get back.
Nice.
Isn't that something?
That's great. That is great.
I think
but
one
the
of
thing is, do you think that kind of means that if you put out positive things to other people, that they'll be drawn to it and maybe leave lies that they believed about that were, how can I put that?
Well,
evil
Depends on
or-
what the circumstances are.
Yeah, that because the truism is that most of especially your enlisted guys in the German army, weren't Nazis. I had a professor in med school who was German, and his father was in the German army as an officer during World War II, and he said he joined the SS just for political reasons, but he didn't kill anybody. But that's something that it wasn't easy to get into. Anybody could be an SA, a brown shirt, but being SS was a different story. The Schutzstaffel was, you actually had to have skills. You couldn't just be Joe Schmuck. And likewise, even like Rommel was not a Nazi. He didn't believe in it, and that's why he was at home in Africa, with the Africa Corps, because he wasn't a dyed-in-the-wool, believer in the Aryan supremacy and all that shit.
And Rommel joined the attempt to assassinate Hitler.
Like with Klaus von Stauffenberg, and that could have gone better. But also, if you had a good sniper like Carlos Hathcock or Chris Kyle, he would have hit him from a mile away.
Hey, I know. Where's our show timer? I don't see our.
You can't see it on the screen?
It was a different one.
It's at the top.
Yeah, it's at the very top, but that was different.
Don't see it.
Yeah, it's not the yellow in the lower corner. It's up top there. So the countdown
middle.
in that
I'm
window.
surprised Paul can't see it. Huh.
Yeah. Well, we still have 34 minutes.
Oh, no, wait. I can see it in the top right corner. It's 39 minutes.
34.
No, you're seeing the wrong timer.
Oh,
sorry,
well,
Paul.
I don't see any other. I don't see any other timer.
Well,
I'll try to fix that for the next show.
and so to love your enemies, that if you present your cheek and your enemy slaps it, turn the other cheek. And if they slap it again, how many attempts do you get? How many times do you get invited to the show before you get dropped off the list?
What's the answer?
Well, if you knock their teeth out after the last slap, then I guess that's it.
Well, you know that.
Remember the TV show Kung Fu?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Jackie Chan was
they're
supposed to
blind. One of the blind men who is part of the temple is walking down the street, and the prince of the city comes by with his retinue, and they're pushing people out of the way and everything. Well, he's blind; he doesn't know they're coming down.
Right.
And so the guard comes over and he slaps him in the face, and he says, "How dare you not move for the prince?" And the blind person says, the blind monk says, "Well, I didn't know he was coming."
Okay.
And he goes to hit him a second time, and the blind man, with his superior skills like radar, he
Right.
stops the hit. And the blind man says, "The first time was sufficient. The second time, you're in the wrong." And I
what my
think
dad
that's
used
what
to
Paul
say.
is saying, Like, there's a limit as to how often you do this turn the other cheek thing.
Well, I guess now I'm going to say that now I guess it depends on the situation, because
Well, sure.
if how can I put this without being too direct?
Be direct. That's what we're here for. Come on, say it. Spit it
Okay.
out.
If you don't believe somebody else and you call them a liar, and you call them like you, Paul, you want me to call you Paul, right?
Yeah, his name is
You
Paul.
can call me whatever you want.
I won't call you late for dinner. How's that sound?
No, you don't call him
Yeah,
late for
just
dinner.
don't call. Yeah, don't call me late for dinner.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to call you anything derogatory, so, but the questions I kind of wanted to ask you were, do you believe in either, that we're all created in the image of God, or if you're not religious, do you believe in all men were created equal? Do you believe in either of those statements?
No, I don't believe we're all created equal. Well, it depends on how you look at it. I mean, obviously, if someone is born and they're missing limbs, obviously they're not created the same as me, so it can't be equal.
It's equal internally in your being, in your inner being.
Well, I suppose.
And everyone,
Spiritually, I guess, sure. But I look at stuff realistically and logically, so I don't necessarily believe in. It's religion to me. I gave up on religion a long time ago. So
I think a lot of people have caused people to feel that way because of their perspective on God. My dad was
Well-
put off by the Catholic Church because when his first wife died, they didn't give him condolences or flowers or anything, and he loved his wife.
Well, that's
dearly.
understandable. I mean,
Yeah.
I was turned off to the Catholic religion because I was brought up Catholic, but when it came down to it, I found that I mean, I remember my mom sending me to classes to go make your confirmation, and the priest was an asshole, and I was like,
I got
you know, and he was
detention
doing-
once. I got detention once in high school, and it was from the priest that had a mouth like a sailor.
Exactly. So it's like, well, here's a guy that's supposed to be representing God or the religion, and I'm like, well, what's this all about? So if he's not going to follow the standards, then why would I? You know, and it's like, so that it just poor taste in my mouth, and then the money thing, and they're always asking for, you're at church and here, pass the basket around and all. I says, come on. I mean, the Catholic religion's probably one of the richest religions in the world.
Yeah,
And-
the Cardinals are the richest poor people you've ever seen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, I mean,
so
do you
it
know
makes
what?
me wonder.
Do you know who made Benedict's shoes when he was his poor person shoes when he was Pope? Prada. They handmade his shoes.
there you go.
He's not wearing tire sandals like in Vietnam, you know.
I wonder how much that cost then.
Well, yeah. I mean, serious as a heart attack. It's like you know that being dressing poor when you're rich is a status symbol. Dressing poor because you are poor is not a status symbol.
No.
And so.
And there's a famous story about Pope Francis.
Oh yeah, with the bill.
No, let me tell the story. and
What's
then you
the other?
can-
What's the other question? Well, he had a couple
Oh,
questions.
you got
he
a
wanted to
couple?
ask.
Well, I did ask them both. I asked
Oh.
one was, do you believe that we're all created equal, or do you believe that we are all created in God's image?
Well, I don't know that those are mutually
I don't
exclusive.
believe either.
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
and also, even if somebody, there was the twin brothers that played for the Seahawks. One of them only had one hand. It was
I
amniotic
remember
band
that,
syndrome. He was born missing a hand, and he still was a pro football player making millions of dollars a year.
Yeah.
There you go.
So what do you base your perspective of other people on in relation to yourself?
Huh?
I'm asking
would I-
Paul, what do you base your view of other people based on your view of yourself?
Based on the view of myself, what do I? I mean, that's kind of a broad question. I mean, I don't understand what you're getting at. So how would I can't answer that. I don't know.
Long story short, he's asking you if you view somebody differently than you view yourself.
Thank you, Mick. That's exactly
Okay.
what he means.
Okay,
yeah.
so
Are they like
I guess anybody would view someone differently than they view themselves because they're different. So I
In one
wouldn't view
sense,
them
yes,
the same.
but in one sense, yes, but in another sense, you've experienced suffering in your life. I can say that we all have. Do you agree with
Yes,
that?
for sure. Absolutely.
And
He's got a problem with his spine.
Yeah, I'm suffering right now.
What, you don't have one?
No,
I have.
spinal stenosis.
Yeah, that happens.
I wish I didn't have one. I'm going like the October 24th. I'm going in for a trial spinal implant.
Oh, right on.
Stimulator.
Yeah, when they
And
work, they
because
work
it helps-
wonderfully.
I'm going to try it for the week, and if it works good, I'll have them permanently install it. Because I don't want to take any drugs if I don't have to, and the neuropathy in my feet is just unbearable.
yeah,
When in doubt, cut them out.
And furthermore, when
I don't believe that, but yeah.
when Paul first started having spine problems, he got sent to the doctor in Niagara Falls, who later got indicted.
Oh yeah, Eugene Gosey, the pill pusher.
Yeah, and this guy had Paul on so many opioids that Paul was completely
He had me
zoned
on-
out.
He had me on oxymorphine, oxycontin, and hydrocodone. Again, so I had the strongest hydrocodone, number 10s, and he had me on oxycontin, 100 milligrams 3 times a day.
Wow.
I
Dude,
was a zombie.
Yeah, and you couldn't take a dump either.
No, it's so I was like, one day I was like, I feel like I'm shitting a baseball. It was just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
it was bad.
more like
It
a
was bad.
softball because I've done the other.
Well,
Softball, yeah.
that one dose of opiate is enough to constipate you.
Absolutely. And I was 3 times a day, and I
Yeah.
was on it for like 8 years. I was on this stuff, right?
Yeah, and the load of shit.
And
I'm surprised you're not dead.
I'll give you.
Yeah, my friend
Exactly.
had
That's what they said. And I
constipation so
said,
bad he
and,
thought
and,
it was
and
the
I,
worst pain he ever
I stopped
experienced.
taking it, and I cold turkeyed it, which was a mistake, but I did it, and that was holy hell. I mean, I can understand these people that are on heroin and all the stuff that they're going through. When you see them on TV, that was a walk in the park, man, the one I went through. It was like, are you kidding me? And I was taking it not so much for the pain. I was taking it because I didn't want to get sick.
Yeah.
And I said it was holy hell. It
Yeah.
was holy hell. It was the worst experience I ever had.
Well, you can die from alcohol withdrawal and you can die from benzodiazepine withdrawal, but you can't die from opiate withdrawal, but you feel like you're dead alive.
Oh, absolutely. It was the worst feeling. I mean, between the convulsions, the hallucinations, the sickness, and the shakes and the cold sweat, all that. I mean,
Get down
all,
with the
all
sickness.
combined at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, what the? Oh, it was bad. And 10 days. It took 10 days for me to clean out.
That's interesting because the median time is 4 days because the same percentage of people can quit opiates cold turkey that can quit smoking cold turkey, 15%.
That's it?
Yeah, that everybody else will have severe withdrawal or not be able to quit at all.
Paul, you're part of
Yeah,
the
well,
elite.
the first 5 or 4 or 5 days was the worst, and then it got better. But it took 10 days before
Yeah.
I felt okay, you know?
Well, you know, if you
yeah.
ever have digestive problems, 'cause I've always said people that say that insomnia or constipation are no big deal have really never had either one. Because I can tell you from my
Right.
own experience, not sleeping for 4 days is a living hell.
Yeah, I can believe that.
It is. Yeah.
I mean,
You don't know
that's,
what to do. Anxiety is crazy.
and that's why the guys in Hell Week at Bud's, with that SEAL school, Basic Underwater Demolition School, they do Hell Week. They get 4 hours of sleep, not per night, but in the whole week. Because
Yeah,
if they
that's
had to stay
insane.
up for 7 days, more than 50% of them will become psychotic.
Yep.
Wait,
I wouldn't doubt it.
wait. Hang on a second.
That's statistics.
No, but wait, hang on a second. You're saying SEALs are not psychotic?
Not clinically, you know, using the term pejoratively like you are. No, there's a classmate of mine who was a SEAL and now he's an orthopedic surgeon.
Who is that? Who's speaking? Who was that?
That's the engineer.
That's our engineer named Mick.
Oh, Nick. Okay, all right.
Mick.
Mick,
Mick with an M, like Mary.
like Mick Jagger.
Mick. Okay, Mick.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so now that we've that big hole in our creation.
Actually, I wanted to continue that because, so you agree that everyone suffers. So, and you know that you suffer.
Yeah.
You believe
Right.
other people suffer too, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Would you want to perpetuate suffering or?
No.
Okay. So.
That's good.
So I guess, but you talked about physical suffering. Do you believe people can face emotional or psychological
I
suffering?
wouldn't. I wouldn't go out of my way to induce any kind of suffering. So whether it's mental or physical, but I mean, I might speak my mind. Someone might have hurt feelings, and that's something they got to deal with, not me. But I mean, I don't go out of my way to go persecute somebody or stalk them and say, "Hey, I'm gonna make you feel as bad as I can possibly do." It's
Well,
but
but if you do that, see, the problem is you're not right here because some of the stuff you've said, I would have no problem watching somebody punch you in the face. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know, you get words have consequences, and if you're so effusively abusive,
But it's not physical, it's words. And if you can't deal with words, like words won't hurt you, sticks and stones will, the old saying. So I wouldn't get violent. I wouldn't get violent. I mean,
I'm glad you wouldn't get
I say
that.
what's on.
'Cause-
I don't blow smoke up anybody's ass, and I don't sugarcoat it. I say what's on my mind, and either you can handle it or you can't. And if you can't, well, I can't do it. I can't help you.
So-
I can't help you if you can. So I mean,
well,
you
but
take
the
it
thing
for what
is,
it's worth.
we're
But-
in a group here.
but
Oh yeah, I get it.
so if the words don't hurt, why is the right pushing so hard to suppress speech?
Good question.
The right? You mean the
right.
left?
No, the left isn't suppressing speech. Who cut all the money out of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting?
Well, I don't know. I don't get into the politics, but okay, I don't know.
That's completely Republican. I mean, Donald Trump is the biggest curse on the presidency ever. And he says, did you see what the garbage thing he did in the White House most recently?
Tell us.
The Hall of Heroes, it's pictures of all the people. But for Biden,
Took out Biden?
Oh no, there's not. There's a picture of an auto pen signing his name. He's so petty. He's a 79-year-old petty piece of shit, and all these people got to bend over
is this
backwards.
true or is
It's a picture.
Is this true or is? Yeah, but the picture could be altered.
It's
to do
not
whatever,
altered.
but I mean,
It's in the. He posted it himself on his Truth Social.
And how do you? But I'm saying media. Yeah, I don't believe any shit I read on Facebook or.
I don't do
trust
Facebook.
media. But I don't trust media in itself because it can be altered so easily.
How about? But you know what Occam's razor says?
So doesn't it all come down to how we treat each other when we're with each other together? That's the only thing you know is real.
Good point.
But that's really reductionist.
It is, but in a situation where you can change media and give messages that you want to give through media outlets by either side, you can't. People don't think they can trust anything. So really, the only time that you know you're with somebody is when you see them directly with your eyes.
As I said, very reductionist. Because what if you go blind?
I agree.
But that's really only.
In other words, there's people who really talk tough online.
Oh,
You meet them in real life and they're a pussycat.
yeah, paper tigers.
I talk the same either way, and Richard knows that. Whether I'm in person or not, I say what's on my mind.
That's an admirable quality.
I say what I do, and I do what I say. Okay.
Pretty much. I mean, I but I don't. Like I said, I don't go out of my way to purposely go out and hurt anybody in any way. But I do speak my mind, and I say what I say. And if people get offended, that's like going to and someone said Merry Christmas. Well, that offends me. Well, fuck off. I'd say. Well, then don't say Merry Christmas back. It's just a word. Merry Christmas. Have a good day. You get offended by it? Too bad. I don't care.
But as I say, that what are the repercussions? Because your tell was you want to be heard. So I knew the way to stop you was I would just talk over you or mute you, because that would be the thing that would get you if you couldn't say your part. But we didn't do that.
No, but it wouldn't get me because I'd be like, okay, well, they don't want to hear. I would just look at it and say reason and say, all right, well, they don't want to hear me. That's good. I mean, I wouldn't be pushing the issue. I'd be like, all right, whatever.
Okay. So we're gonna put the rubber to the road here. What is your difficulty in addressing somebody by the name they want to be used? Just answer that clearly. Don't give me a treatise. Just clear answer.
I like to push buttons.
Oh, so you know that what you're saying is wrong.
No, I know. I didn't say it was. You're saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong.
You're using a name that someone doesn't want to be used. They want to be known as X, not Y, and you're saying Y, even though you've been told. So you know that you're doing something wrong that they don't wish.
In other people's opinions, not in your own opinion.
Yeah, because it. So when I look at a person, I have a hard time. Whether it's male or female, if they have a female name and I know they're a male or vice versa, I just have a hard time relating to that, and I just refuse to do it. I mean, I can't. It's just. I think it's like
I've talked with the person in question.
I guess if I was blind, I would know, right? But I mean, I am, and I can see, and so visual, as everybody knows. I mean, visual is very strong. So when visual affects the way people think and the way they perceive stuff. So if you perceive somebody as they're dressed as a female, but then you perceive them as a male, it's like, well, how do you deal with that? It's like I just have I guess I could just say, okay, well, I'll conform to it and say, hey, whatever you want, I'll call you whatever you want. But I'm generally I'm usually non-conformant. So I'm not.
Well, that's okay. What the only thing that I want you to understand is that Vanessa is both.
This isn't your place. This isn't your place to mention that. That's not your business.
No.
Okay, so I won't. Okay.
No, that she's not here. So you can't talk about somebody's medical history when they're not here. I'm not going to stand for that.
Right.
Did she bring it up?
I don't know, but we're not going to address that.
Well, I'm just making sure.
Just let it go.
Okay.
So the problem is people have a right to be called. What if I said my name was Betty? You'd have no problem calling me Betty now. You'd have no problem with that.
If I would question it.
Yeah, but would you refuse to call me Betty?
Probably.
Well,
Wow.
that's offensive on your part then, because everybody has a right to be addressed by the name they choose, and that's a God-given right.
You
Because
know-
how about I call you MAGA?
You know what I'm going to drop
Go
in
ahead.
here? I'm going to drop in here with something.
What's up?
It's a saying that I've learned a long time ago. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has them. And Paul has...
yeah.
Most of them stink.
Paul's opinion and Paul's view is his. It's just like yours, Richard's, and Prez. So, you guys are on an open forum. You're discussing everybody's opinions and on topics. So, that's where it ends. When this show ends, this it's over. The conversation is mute until the next time you meet.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Everybody has their own opinion. It's like politics. You're not going to switch somebody, or religion. Everybody has their own beliefs. You're not going to switch their beliefs because this is what they believe. It's your opinion. They have their opinion, and you're not gonna change it. It is what it is. Like, that's why I don't really talk about politics, because it's like everybody's got their own views and their own opinions, and you're not going to change my beliefs. I'm not going to change yours. Not that I would try, but it's just. That's what I believe in. But so if I was to call you Betty, I mean, I wouldn't call you Betty because it doesn't make sense to me to do that. Even though you want me to, it's like, well, I want you to call me a toaster, or whatever.
If that's why you be called toaster, okay, toaster. I think maggot is
Okay,
better,
but you're
but
okay with it. Well,
It's the
see,
name
now
that
you're
you
being
choose.
insulting. Now you're trying to be insulting to me.
no,
You're trying to call me a
M-A-G-A-T.
maggot.
M-A-G-A-T. M-A-G-A-T,
okay.
maggot.
Oh,
What does that stand for?
okay.
MAGA with the T, so it rhymes with maggot like an immature fly. Well, it's like Dumb Donnie said, all the vermin that here in the U.S. that we have to get rid of.
We don't have to attack each other.
Yeah, but it's fun. That's the whole point. If you can't
It's
handle
not-
it, that's why we're here, Prez. That's the whole point. It's the no exit podcast.
But I
We have
believe
to
there
get
is
it-
an exit.
We have to get on each
There
other's
is- there-
nerves.
there is an
It's
exit.
right there.
No, that's not the exit I'm talking about.
Oh,
What exit are you
All right,
talking
well,
about?
I'm talking about that God cares for all of us, and He wants us to come to Him. That's the exit, not that door, not getting out of the situation we're in, not.
What did Ben Franklin say? Beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. I think that's more a case
and
of
that's
though,
why they make beer goggles too.
and I think that's why because if you would have drank the water, then it would kill you. So you had to
Right.
you had to
You
preserve
have to
it
drink
somehow.
wine.
Yeah, or
Oh,
Applejack or whatever you had,
Yeah.
So so let's see. Oh, I had so many good things, but it's not on the that picture I sent you. You can't put or you couldn't put it up, could you?
Yeah, I can put it up.
Okay, then I'm going to tell this story.
Good.
So
Okay.
I'm looking for a picture.
Yeah, the one that I texted to you of Gopher and Mackenzie Phillips.
Okay.
Hey guys, I got crabs.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, I see that.
Well, a true story. I read about it about 15 years ago that entomologists were decrying the increase in women and men shaving their pubic hair because the crab louse, Pediculus Thyrus pubis, was dying out because it had no place to live.
Is that the love boat
Perfect.
image?
So
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So that's a good thing.
Well, but unintended consequences.
Just tell me when you're ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
Yeah.
So this is a shot from
Love Boat.
January
The
of
Love Boat.
1982. That's Mackenzie
Yeah.
Phillips, and that's Fred Grandy. Now, Fred Grandy
Yeah.
as Gopher Smith, that's the role he played, but he's from Iowa, and he was a Republican congressman for like 3 or 4 terms. He's very conservative. In this episode, she says her name is Rachel, and she recognizes Gopher. He doesn't recognize her. But this is 1982, and transgenderism was only newly into the general populace. But the questions that it turns out that Rachel was Gopher's roommate in college, Ray. And that's why, but she's definitely a woman. But in the time that was given, he asked her, "Did you go to Sweden for that?" She said, "No, it's legal here. I went to Schenectady." Actually, Schenectady didn't have a program. You had up at the University of Minnesota, Johnny Hopkins, and I can't think of the third one. But sex reassignment surgery was pretty difficult because if you remember that movie, The Danish Girl with Eddie Redmayne, that person died when the doctor tried to transplant a uterus into her. That didn't work. And so that was one. But people have been dealing with transgenderism for a long time, and it's hell for the person that is the one that's being affected. And what Gopher goes to talk to the captain because he's so distraught, and he does all the talking. The captain doesn't say anything, and he said, "Thanks for the talk, Captain." And he says, "You're welcome." And he said, "Wait, I did all the talking." But at that time, you had Renee Richards in the news. You had Tula Cossey, Wendy Carlos, who did the music for Tron. You had Jude Patton, who was actually a rare female to male. But these were people in the public, so it was a thing that was happening. So it's not like it's complete trans erasure, which is what it was before, or very niche, and that's why this is 40 years ago. This is 43 years ago. So even then, what they could do. Now, of course, the newer thing is to have actual trans, actresses. So they're people that are in between, but they're passing as women. But like on Supergirl, there was a girl there. And who was the other one? But it's being shown, this is an adult woman versus being a teenager or a very young adult. But it's not new. That's what I'm saying, that the transgender question isn't new, and it's not going to go away because...
I remember hearing a story about some type of leader, like an emperor or a king or something, and he saw a man that looked like his wife that had passed away. He told his underlings to turn him into a woman. So I think that happened in ancient times. They obviously probably killed the guy, but
in China, guys would eunuchsize themselves. They become a eunuch. They cut off their dick.
Or they're nuts because
No, thank you.
No, they cut off the penis so they couldn't have sex.
Oh, I thought they cut off
a eunuch.
Oh, okay, a eunuch. Yeah. I was misunderstanding of how they were eunuchs because.
Well, you could take the nuts and the penis, but you're lucky if you don't bleed to death.
Okay.
But that's why this is the thing that got me, because they hit some real at the time notes, because the character played by Mackenzie Phillips, Rachel, says, I was dealing with this the whole time. And, I had a lot of counseling. I had a lot of testing. This process took 2 years. And there was a special that was 40 years ago in the early 80s on HBO about people that had gone, that were transgendered. And there was an English guy who didn't get adequate psychological testing. So he was under anesthesia, but it was when he got the succinylcholine, and he's like, and he was thinking to himself, stop, I don't want this, but it was too late.
Right.
And he ended up getting his castrated, and they made him a new vag. So now he's a guy, a dude with a pussy. The reson why I say that is gross is that
I remember that show. Now that you mentioned that,
and there, Buck Angel is a trans porn star, and what was interesting, he said it was for the best transgender at the Adult Video Awards, or the AVN Awards, Adult Video News Awards. The for the transgender, they were all pre-op male to female, and he said it was unfair to me because I'm pre-op female to male. So that's why he was saying it was inequitable. Balance it out. So
how do you feel about transgenders not revealing who they are when they're looking to meet somebody or in a relationship, and saying something up front instead of baiting somebody in and getting them to know them before they tell them what they really are? So, like, you know what I'm saying? So,
well, yeah, but I for one think that's a very
like the song Lola.
Yeah. Take Walk on the Wild Side.
Right.
But you know what? If somebody would do that, that's more character of their personality than about their issue of what's in their pants. Because honesty is where it's at. And first of all, that's a vanishingly low percentage that would happen. There just aren't that many out there. But that show English Teacher premiered, the second season premiered this week, and there was a guy that was marrying. He's going to marry the daughter of the main character's principal, the principal in the school. The principal's daughter is going to marry this guy. And the main character, who's gay, says, "Are you gay?" And he says, "I'm 80-20 gay and bisexual." He said, "So that's only 10% straight." But
yeah, but I can say something about what you just said, how some people are deceptive. Mm-hmm. So, for example, I've worked with law firms my whole life.
Yeah.
And in the 1980s, when you filed for a divorce, on your divorce papers, you had to put down the reason you were getting divorced. And then by the late 1990s, you just said
It's over.
irreconcilable differences. You didn't have to go into detail. So in like the 80s and 90s, I would always read, like, what's breaking these people up? Do you know how many times I read the following? My husband said during our entire courtship how much he loved children. Once we were married, he
don't
said
wanna
he
have-
had no interest.
Yeah, I
And
didn't
that-
know it was so
that was
prevalent,
frequent?
but I've heard that. I've heard that before.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah, I've heard that. Huh.
So
It's like you bullshit your way so that you can get into the marriage.
Well, and the other side is after the wife has the kid, and then she loses all interest in sex,
Yeah.
and pulls the
Right.
plug, and that's deceptive too.
yes,
Right.
Yeah, they're all played out because it's really something about sexual phenotypes. That you see what attracts us, because when you're young, it's the physical, and when you're older, I have a second wave because I'm white, I'm 6 foot tall, I'm straight. Whatever, I become single.
Oh, you're not. You're Betty.
But well, it's like there was a guy with whom I was a resident. He was radiology. His family name, I shit you not, was Liberace. He was kin
Really?
to
Wow.
the pianist, but his given name is Val. He's not Valerie. He's Val. He's not Valentine.
Right.
He's not Valentinus,
Right.
but he's Val. But
Yeah.
one of my attendings said, no, he pronounces it Liberace. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He calls at 2 a.m. the one morning and said, yeah, it's Liberace. And I just had, but that's the thing. If somebody is Connie, like if it's short for Conrad, if I said, call me Connie, you know what I mean? Or Constantine.
Right.
Because like in the movie
Right.
The Game, or Surviving the Game, is it, with Michael Douglas and Sean Penn? Sean Penn's character, they call him Connie because he's Conrad.
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, what's in a name,
I suppose.
Okay, so we have 4 minutes left. So, Perez, are you going to go run a mile?
definitely not.
Do you know what Roger Bannister did after his track career was done? He became a neurosurgeon. And I used to tell a joke about the first CT used clinically back in '75. It was in the UK. I said, first CT of the head showed nothing. But no, actually, neurosurgeons thought this woman had a tumor, and they CT'd her head, and exactly where they thought it was, there it was. And the first CT was like 8-bit, pixelated. It was really
Okay.
low res, but you could see this black mass. The one thing, we talked about the what was it, the perfect circle or the magic spiral or whatever that's all over nature, and
The Fibonacci sequence.
yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I've never ever seen was an aesthetically beautiful cancer. They're always intractably, you look at them, you can tell there's something not right, and there's nothing beautiful about it because there's no symmetry. There's nothing
There's no pattern.
at all. And it's not like a Pollock painting where there's no pattern, but you can still see the art. There's nothing artful about
Rotting
cancer
flesh.
at all.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that's why the tumors are just ugly. Ugh.
Throughout the week, I listen to a lot of lectures on YouTube, stuff like that. I always copy down. I love the written word so much that if somebody says something that I find riveting,
Okay.
I write it down. All right. Here's some of the ones that I got this week. There are people who bubble wrap life because they're afraid of change. And in the process, they cut themselves off from actually living.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Well, we don't realize that we're in the good old days right now. Every day, because you don't realize what's good until it's gone.
Well, I live a lot
That's
of
true.
really good days, but I realize that the world is ruled by Satan. There's a lot of bad stuff going on, but that's not my relationship with God. That's Satan's relationship with most of the world.
Well, that wasn't my point, but okay.
Okay.
Okay, I get you.
Here's another one.
My days are usually good. I mean, aside from pain, but I usually, I wake up, I'm up, I enjoy the day, I go do my business, and
He goes
I go
on
to sleep, I wake
photography
up the next day.
excursions.
Yeah, I do that quite often. At least 3 or 4 times a week, I go on a photography excursion.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, next one.
I would like to see this on the bottom of all pharmaceutical commercials. Remember, ask your doctor for pills that you cannot pronounce the name of for diseases that you didn't even know existed.
Right.
I thought that was clever.
I think it's ridiculous.
Well, at the
I
same,
think it's ridiculous
but
that they
at
do
They're
that.
doing, yeah.
no, but at the same time, if you have weirdly named disease X, you know you do because they've told you. The other weirdly named disease Y, you can't pronounce it because you don't have it.
Well, once those commercials started going on TV,
People thought they had those conditions.
that's right, and,
yeah.
and doctors loved it because people would come into their office and they'd say,
I want this.
"Doctor, I
Hey,
think, would you
check
test
me
me?
out."
I think
Yeah.
I got COPD." And the
I did
doctor
that
would
with-
say, what you have, and I'm glad you came in, is high blood pressure, and we got to do something about that.
Well, but you,
The medical profession is a business now. It's not like it used to be.
no, I'm telling
It's a
you though
business.
that you can't primarily do it as business. It's part of it, because you got a bill and you need the money.
big part of it.
But that's not the primary thing because let me tell you, if you have myasthenia gravis, that's a life of hell. If you have cortisolism, like what's his name, JFK had, that's a life of hell. You miss a dose of your cortisol in 12 hours, you're dead. And that's all we have for we close.
Thank you, everybody.